Dave, just I suppose firstly, how has this week of training been? Obviously not really a full week, but how much do the lads and yourself enjoying, now these Tuesday night, which seem like every single one of them was away games as well, out the way, and you can kind of almost enjoy the full week of training?
Yeah, I suppose the players are probably enjoying it because it gives them a few days off and things like that. From a coaching management perspective, from us, it doesn't change a massive amount in terms of our preparation. Just gives us a little bit longer to be more thorough with that preparation and be able to, I suppose, report to players in terms of tactical stuff, in terms of out on the grass and actually walking and going through things, and in terms of video stuff. So yeah, it helps in that scenario. Hopefully, from a player's point of view, what it does do is allow us to go into games fresher, knowing that we haven't got a game in 48 hours time. So Saturday for us is everything. And it is a case of completely, and not that we don't by any stretch, completely emptying a tank that's probably hopefully a little bit more full. And then being able to fill that tank up in more time for the following Saturday.
The biggest news this week, and we'll kind of get straight to that Pills fans have asked about, is Ben Killip obviously had that injury on Monday. What is the latest on Ben Killip in terms of his injury?
Yeah, I had an X-ray, and the X-ray was nothing in terms of fractures, bone problems, things like that. Then saw a specialist on Wednesday, and the first, I suppose, prognosis isn't great, based around what the specialist thinks rather than actually having any proof. So he's done some damage to his medial ligament in his elbow. Not career threatening or anything to that degree, but probably from our perspective is one that if it is a rupture, then you're probably looking at maybe 12 weeks, which would rule him out for the season. If it's not, then you may be slightly less, but again, you're still probably looking at him not being available for us at the back end. From Ben's perspective, he was in yesterday, and he's pretty confident that he will play again this season. But again, it's all speculation. So he'll have a scan on Tuesday, and then ultimately that'll give us the definitive news in terms of what the actual injury is, and then we'll have more clearer information on timescales. But I suppose at the moment we're preparing that he won't be available for us, and we're looking at I suppose, like we have to, worst case scenario, and hopefully we're treated with good news after this scan on Tuesday.
It's not just a shame for obviously the club, but for him really, and the fans have really backed him this season. Most clean sheets in the National League. When you saw him yesterday, was he? Obviously, I can imagine be upset about being ruled out, but was he still in good spirits? And it must be a huge loss for the team as well for how well he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think whenever you pick up an injury, there's always going to be a bit of almost self-reflection and reality that all the work you've done through pre-season and the main bulk of the season can ultimately take away your opportunity to play in some, or potentially the biggest games of your career this year. At the back end of the season, that's something that in some instances hits you straight away, and there's that disappointment and almost a little bit of what's the word? A little bit of depression and disappointment about that. But what you've got to do is, like I say, is move forward and recognise, and the group do that really, really well in terms of there's an objective that we all want to achieve, and every single one of them want to achieve that, and we've tried to stress that it's probably going to take all of us. With us saying that as a management group, most of them probably believe that doesn't mean it'll be me, because I'll be definitely fit and I definitely want to be in the team. Things happen that are out of your control. So again, in terms of Bernie's had news, there was that disappointment yesterday. Like I say, from a perspective, he was pretty positive, and like I say, he's looking at it and going, "No, I feels like I'm not bad. I'm gonna be fit. I'm definitely gonna play again this season." And if you can have that outlook, then regardless of what Tuesday says, that's the best the best outlook you can have from a player's perspective, and you've got to continue to be positive. If, like I say, if we get good news Tuesday, brilliant. If not, then you deal with what you have to deal with, and undoubtedly his view on things won't change. In the fact that what all the players want to be is make sure we have an opportunity to be a football league team, a football league players next season, and we'll continue to, like I say, to work towards that. From a team perspective, of course, it's going to be a blow, because what we've done is we've had lots of continuity in terms of the team we've selected. But I suppose what it has shown, if you're looking at for positives out of it, is that obviously we lost Jono, and he's stepped out. Timmy's stepped in, and it's been seamless in what we've done. So again, different scenario tomorrow. Ben steps out, Henrik has to step in, and we do the same. We make sure that as a defensive 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever you want to be, that we do our jobs. And if we can be as steady and as reliable as we were on Monday with Oatsy in goal, then hopefully whoever we put between the sticks won't make a difference.
So you just confirm there will be Henrik in between the sticks tomorrow, and you've got a bit of news on Brad Young as well, who hasn't been with the squad this week.
Yeah, Henrik will play tomorrow. Brad's obviously was away with England the previous week. He's been in with a Premier League club this week, Tuesday to Friday, and will be with us at the game tomorrow. So he's not been around the group. So there continues to be interest with him, and again, from a club perspective, there's been decisions made around what things are done and whether he can go into clubs, and clubs have a look at him, I suppose, with view to potentially doing something, and that'll continue to, like I say, continue to be the case. Obviously, this week's changed a little bit because we didn't preempt an injury or potentially a career season-ending injury to a goalkeeper. But like I say, we'll play things by ear. We'll know more on Tuesday, and that might affect Brad's situation moving forward.
So looking now to the game, Notts County, I sat in the press conference of their manager yesterday, and he said that they're obviously confident coming up to the Northeast. Probably not the greatest start for him, but now 2 wins in a row. What are you expecting from this Notts County side, really in comparison to the Notts County side you saw when we went to their place and won 1-0?
Well, personnel-wise, they're not different. Shape-wise, they've been a little bit different. Obviously, manager changes, and that can change style, philosophy at times, if you like. But we expect a tough game. But I hope they do come and try and win the game. Because, like I say, if they come and try and win the game, I'm confident that we win the game. And that won't change. We're on a great run. Not just a great run at home, a great run in terms of our current being 13 unbeaten. We know it's a big game for us, an important game that we need to beat them, and we'll be going out with that mindset. They've got games in hand and can go above us. We can have a direct influence on someone that's in and around us in the table, and all of a sudden we've got to try and take one of their games, if you like, and eradicate it. You don't get 6 pointers, but in essence, it is a 6 point, and the fact that we can get 3 points and stop them getting 3 points, and that's solely where our focus will be.
Third time we're on telly at home this season. Do the players kind of feel that situation that all the fans will be watching? Obviously, people tune the live stream every week, but this is on a bigger scale of BT Sport, and with fans not being in the stadium, they also almost feel the pressure of them kind of being there and all eyes and all the cameras watching on them.
No, I think that's been the case this season every week. Normally you'll have 4,000 or 5,000 live eyes on you, watching you and scrutinising everything you do, and maybe letting you know when you've made a mistake. This season, we've not had that. We've had live eyes, but live eyes that have been in people's living rooms, and can't let their feelings known actually to you there and then. And that'll be the same on Saturday. Yeah, there'll be. The only difference is there'll be more potential fans watching, or people watching that don't normally watch Hartlepool games. That'll be the only difference. I suppose all of the potential players, managers from other teams in our league will be able to watch the game based on that their game will have finished like we normally do with a late game on a Saturday. But all we've got to do is make sure we perform, and it gives us an opportunity to possibly show more people that we're a good team and we're in good shape, and we're continuing to push to what we want to achieve this season.
Just finally, other team news around the squad. Ryan Johnson would still not be available this weekend, and is there anything else that fans need to be aware of?
Yeah, obviously Jono will be out. It's been, again, as much as been bad news in one instance, or potentially with Ben. Good news with Jono, and the fact that he saw a specialist as well on Wednesday, and not as bad as we feared, but certainly timescale wise, we should get him back before the end of the season. So probably a couple of weeks rehab for him, and then back into training. Now, whether he has to train for a week or 2 weeks, but we're probably looking 4 weeks absolute maximum for him, maybe 3 weeks. So that was, like I say, that was good news, but obviously short term not going to be involved in the squad. The only other one we've got to have a look at is Oatsy. He, before he went in goal, obviously on Monday, had felt his quad a little bit when he closed down their keeper and nearly got himself a goal. So we've just been careful with him, to be fair. We'll make a call on him today, and we'll know where we're at. But again, it doesn't really affect squad selection, team selection in terms of what how we're going to potentially set up in the game. It may affect personnel slightly, but not huge. So, like I say, comfortable with that. Apart from that, everyone else is fine. Is desperate to be involved. Is desperate to start. Is desperate to be part of what we're doing currently, and that's like I say, good place for us to be in.